Yeah, so I'm a student of the 2011 MA in All Hallows, and I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes about what brought me to a study of spirituality and my experience of the programme. And I suppose when I look back at my childhood, I think I've been searching as far back as I remember. I just remember being a young child and still this a yearning for something, for a connection with the divine or something greater than me. And I grew up in a typical Catholic family. You know, we had 9 Fridays, 9 Tuesdays, the plenary indulgences, the lay altars, you know, but the teachings was with a judgmental God, and it was with a spirituality of disempowerment. So I just feel all my earlier life, it was with a sense of feeling lost and hoping to be found. You know, and I grew up young. You know, I packed a lifetime of experience into it before I was 30. And I'd worked abroad, I came back, I was married, I was divorced, and I had buried my firstborn son. I went on to have 2 more children. And, you know, so at 30 years of age, I was holding down 3 jobs, lone parent, on my own, and very much lost, you know. And Pat spoke earlier about restlessness. Well, you know, Raman Rolheiser says that spirituality is not something out there, but it's a restlessness that's deep within each one of us. And how we channel that restlessness is what is personal to each one of us. So I think for me, I had to get to the lowest point in my life to, you know, and that stirred a restlessness in me that I couldn't ignore. And I started on, I suppose, a journey of change. But my search, I went a very circuitous way. You know, I went from all sorts of creative musings, from New Age teachings to Eastern philosophies to meditation. But there was just always this deep yearning inside, you know, this searching for a relationship with the God of my childhood. So to use the analogy of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, it's like I was lost in the ordinary world, and I felt the call to cross the threshold into something new. So my meanderings with many trainings eventually brought me to a 7-year study of Gestalt psychotherapy. And it was through that I found ground for myself. But yet it's like my real search was like my own personal secret, you know, my search for God. It's like I had permission to be real with the world, and that through the world of therapy, and especially Gestalt, in the I-Buber's I-Thou relationship. But it's like I didn't have permission to be overt with what I really felt was my spiritual search from the inside. So I believe that I was divinely guided to the MA programme. I actually went to All Hallows on an open day to inquire about a degree course in professional development. And I felt I was looking for a coat hanger to hang all the trainings I had done. And, you know, and Julie Cameron of The Artist's Way, she speaks about shadow artists. And it's those people who are afraid to do what they really want. So they work or they learn or they live, besides those who do what they want to do. You know, so I thought maybe if I did something in the spiritual walls of All Hallows, I'd be in touch with my personal spirituality. But anyway, I spoke to the lecturer who was doing the degree course, and I nearly whispered. I said, you know, what I'd really love to do is to study spirituality. And he said, well, there's Bernadette and Michael over there, and they're doing a program on applied Christian spirituality. And I said, what? So anyway, the rest is history. I went over to Michael and to Bernadette, and they were so encouraging and supportive. You know, so I suppose what I want to say is that I have to find myself, where am I first? Yes, it's like the year, bringing me to the year of the MA. The year of the MA, it was intensive. Like, it was a full-time MA, 1 day a week in college, and the rest of the week for assignments and research. I happened to open a therapy business the same year, so I think without spiritual direction, I would not have got through the year. And the year of study, it was a journey of ups and downs and depths and highs, in and out, a journey from unknowing to knowing and back to unknowing again. And when I was thinking of an analogy, you know, the image of a labyrinth came to me. you know, that all the twists and turns and hidden stories, but it's all an interior journey to the centre. You know, it brought academic challenge and learning, but it brought an awakening of a personal spirituality within me. I felt challenged, at times I felt intimidated, not good enough, academically challenged, but I also felt inspired, awakened, excited, and all of those, and that could be all in one day. You know, but like all stories, there was movement in my story. Before the course, I was hungry for an avenue to explore spirituality, to belong, to compose myself, and to have a relationship with my personal God. But, you know, in spite of my own self-doubt and struggle, the Holy Spirit worked through me. And I had a shift from an external spirituality to an interior one. I got to explore the God of my childhood and the experiential spirituality of my adulthood and the struggle of finding a safe passage between them. In engaging with the hermeneutics of suspicion, I moved from a disempowering spirituality to an empowering one. And I suppose what felt like a mammoth number of writing assignments, and you know, along with the journals, spiritual accompaniment, but they were slow meandering supports that helped me explore the depths of my journey in the year. One of the main things was writing my spiritual autobiography, and that was transformational in itself. It gave me a new way of seeing. It's like what Campbell would say, the transformation on the path. Through therapy, I would have looked at my lifeline and my life story, but therapy can tend to look at life like jigsaw pieces, like the different pieces that are wrong, and you fix the pieces and you end up with a full picture. But in exploring your life from a stance of God's presence in the journey, it gave me new eyes to see the same journey, but a different story. I came to a place of knowing and understanding of each period of my life, where I responded to the calling or where I failed to respond, and who I became because of those choices. My experience was that my heart opened and I had the courage to be able to feel worthy, to have a personal relationship with my personal God. It helped me also to bring home to me my own story, to be able to say, this is who I am, to be here with the same history that I started with, and to love it. Janet Russell in her lecture says that theology is how we understand our lived experience. Creative theology is going on to think freshly about God in the present context. So undertaking the MA, it was very much more than an academic undertaking for me. It was a journey to a personal spirituality. From that time, I bring my spirituality more overtly into my work as a psychotherapist. I think many therapists believe that being neutral in the therapy room about spirituality is helpful. But I don't believe so, and it's not my experience. People want their spirituality acknowledged. A spiritual lens can change the workings of any situation. And for me, my experience is that I've developed a much softer discipline for myself and in the work. So the story continues to grow and move through me. So as I move on to my next secret dream, I dare to share, would be to go on to PhD level and study, the passion and to study spirituality. So I'm hoping I'm putting it out there in the ethers that I'll actually act on
I think you'll agree that hearing two people have done the programme really does add so much for those who are thinking about doing it now.